You check your phone before every trip. A blue dot tells you exactly where you are. You trust it without thinking. But 1,000 years ago, your ancestors crossed open ocean with no dot, no signal, no screen, and they still found their way home. The real answer to how they did it is far stranger than any satellite. Picture the 11th century. You are standing on a wooden dock at Nagapattinam, on the Tamil coast. The air smells of salt and drying fish. Ships made of stitched planks rock gently against the tide. You are not boarding a fishing boat. You are boarding a vessel about to sail to Sumatra, 3,000 kilometers away, with no coastline in sight for weeks. How does the captain know where to go? He does not have a compass. He does not have charts the way you imagine them. What he has is something more powerful. Centuries of inherited observation turned into a working system. The Chola navigators read the stars like you read a street sign. They tracked the angle of the pole star against the horizon to estimate latitude. They watched the color of the water change with depth and current. They knew which seabirds flew out at dawn and returned at dusk, and how far those birds could travel before turning back. This was not guesswork. It was data, collected over generations, passed down as memorized verse and song, so it would never be lost. Historian Kenneth Hall, who studied Chola maritime trade extensively, described how the Chola state did not just permit the seafaring, it organized it. Merchant guilds called the Ainuruvar and the Manigramam operated like multinational companies with their own ships, their own agents, and their own trade agreements stretching from the Tamil coast to China. Tansen Sen, a historian of Indo-Chinese exchange, has shown that Chola embassies reached the Song dynasty court, and that Chola ships were known and respected in Chinese ports. Think about what that means. While much of the medieval world feared the open ocean, your ancestors were treating it like a highway. But here is the part most people never learn in school. The Cholas did not just send ships. They built an entire support system to make long voyages possible. Lighthouses in the form of tall stone or brick towers marked safe harbors at night. Temples near coastal cities doubled as accounting centers, where merchants recorded cargo and paid duties under the watchful eye of priests who also functioned as scribes. Inscriptions found in Tamil Nadu, studied extensively by epigraphist Y. Subarayalu, list detailed records of guild transactions, tolls, and trade routes carved directly into temple walls. A temple was not only a place of worship, it was a node in a navigation and trade network. Now picture the captain again, weeks into his voyage. The sky is clear. He marks the pole star's height with a simple wooden instrument, comparing it to a known reading from home. He checks it against the position of other constellations rising on the horizon. He notes the wave pattern, because waves bend and bounce differently near land, even land you cannot yet see. He listens for a change in bird calls. Isn't it strange that all of this still works even now, without a single piece of electronics? This is what modern navigators call dead reckoning and natural piloting, and it required something your phone's GPS doesn't. A navigator's entire mind trained from childhood to notice what most people ignore. And it worked. Chola fleets are recorded sailing as far as the Andaman Islands and Southeast Asia, with documented military and trade expeditions reaching the Srivijaya kingdom in present-day Indonesia. That is not a short hop along a coastline. That is a calculated, repeatable, intercontinental journey, undertaken centuries before European ships dared attempt anything similar across open water. Here is the twist most Indians never hear. The reason this knowledge faded was not because it stopped working. It faded because colonial-era trade routes rerouted shipping through European-controlled ports, and the oral knowledge systems that held this navigation science were never written into formal academic curricula the way European cartography was. The system did not fail. It was simply replaced and then forgotten. So the next time your phone shows you that small blue dot, remember this. Long before satellites circled the Earth, your ancestors built their own version of that dot, using the stars, the birds, the waves, and a memory trained sharper than any algorithm. They did not need a network in the sky. They built one in their minds, and it carried them across oceans your blue dot has never had to cross alone.